Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to our new session, Talks That Teach. I'm your host, Professor Naseem Ullah Bhutta, and today we are diving into a very timely and fascinating topic, English linguistics realities. Joining me, someone special, an AI linguist who has been trained over thousands of hours of data and research. Meet Sarah, our guest expert, who is here to help us unpack the real life complexities of English uh, functions across multilingual societies. We are going to welcome Sarah, our guest speaker. Hello, Sarah. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Just enjoying this lovely rainy day. How about you? Ah, the art of doing nothing. It's a skill, isn't it? What do you like to do when you just enjoy?
Okay, Sarah, as you are my guest speaker, as AI linguist expert, we are going to talk about English linguist
Sounds
realities
exciting.
today.
What
And
spe-
listen, please, when I talk to you, respond the questions, and after responding questions, you will wait for my next question. Okay, no need to ask for further questions. Thank you so much for you can say that giving me time for the this wonderful our topic. My first question to you: how would you define English linguistic realities in today's world?
English linguistic realities today reflect how language shapes our communication. It's about understanding diverse accents, cultural influences, and the impact of technology. English is evolving, blending with local languages and cultures. It's fascinating.
Would you give some example from Pakistani context?
Sure. In Pakistan, English is often mixed with Urdu, creating a unique blend called Urdish. Phrases like let's do a cal tomorrow show this mix. It reflects local culture and identity. Plus, it's used in education and business, making it a vital tool.
Give example of any sentence in Pakistani
Absolute.
context.
Got it. In a path pool context, you might say let's discuss our project in the path pool after lunch. It combines English with a specific setting, showing how language adapts to different environments. Pretty cool, huh?
Why is it important to explore the multi realities of English instead of treating as a one standard language?
Exploring the multi-realities of English is crucial. It acknowledges cultural diversity, fosters inclusivity, and enhances communication. Treating it as one standard overlooks rich expressions and identities. Embracing variations makes language more relatable and vibrant.
That's great. Why is it important to explore multi realities of English instead of treating it as one standard language? You have discussed it. But I would like to ask that it's important if you give us some examples from our real life, how it is quite difficult for one standard language.
Sure, in real life, consider a classroom. If a teacher uses only standard English, students from different backgrounds may struggle to engage. For example, a student might say, I'm feeling thanda cold instead of just cold. Ignoring local expressions can alienate learners. It's important to connect with their realities. Another example is in business. A company using only standard English might miss out on local market nuances. Embracing variations fosters better relationships and understanding.
Can you give examples of how English changes in different cultural or national contexts? Give some of you can say reality based facts and examples.
Absolutely. 1. American English vs. British English. Words like elevator US and lift UK show how English varies by region. 2. Singlish in Singapore. This unique blend includes local slang and expressions. For example, la is often added for emphasis. 3. Indian English. Phrases like prepone to move something to an earlier time are common. 4. Nigerian Pidgin. It mixes English with local languages. A phrase like wet'n day happen means what's happening. These examples highlight how culture shapes language, making it vibrant and diverse.
Or are all varieties of English, like Nigerian English, Pakistani English, or Indian English, equally valid in formal settings? Why or why not?
Great question. Varieties like Nigerian English, Pakistani English, and Indian English are valid because they reflect local culture and identity. In formal settings, using these varieties can enhance communication and connection with local audiences. They show respect for cultural nuances. However, some may argue that standard English is preferred for clarity in international contexts. But embracing these varieties promotes inclusivity and diversity. It's all about context and audience.
That's great. Do you think current language education policies reflect the linguistic realities of students in multilingual nations?
Not always. Many education policies focus on standard language, which can ignore students' linguistic realities in multilingual nations. Students often speak multiple languages at home. If schools don't recognize this, it can hinder learning. Policies should embrace linguistic diversity, incorporating students' languages into the curriculum. This approach fosters engagement and helps students feel valued. It's vital for effective education.
Why there's a often gap between language policy and what happens in the actual classrooms?
Great point. The gap often exists due to several reasons. 1. Lack of training. Teachers may not be trained to implement language policies effectively. 2. Resources. Schools might lack materials that support multilingual education. 3. Standardization pressure. There's often a push for standardized testing, which emphasizes one language. 4. Cultural resistance. Some communities may resist changes to traditional language practices. These factors can lead to disconnect between policy and practice, affecting students' learning experiences.
What's the difference between code switching, translanguaging, and classroom practice?
Great question. Here's a quick breakdown. 1. Code switching. This is when a speaker alternates between languages in conversation. For example, a student might switch from English to Urdu mid-sentence. 2. Translanguaging. This goes further, allowing students to use all their language resources to make meaning. It encourages blending languages for deeper understanding. 3. Classroom practice. This refers to how teachers implement these concepts in teaching. It includes strategies for integrating students' languages into lessons to enhance learning. Each plays a role in supporting multilingual learners.
Should teachers encourage or discourage students from mixing languages in classroom? Should they be given permission, code switching, translanguaging, and some kind of practice like this?
Absolutely, teachers should encourage switching and translanguaging. Allowing students to mix languages can enhance understanding and confidence. It helps them express ideas more freely and connect with their cultural identity. Creating a supportive environment for this practice fosters engagement and learning. It's all about making students feel comfortable and empowered.
Do you think trans language is a source of confidence and identity for the learners?
Definitely, translanguaging boosts confidence by allowing learners to express themselves fully. It validates their linguistic backgrounds and cultural identities. When students can use their languages, they feel more connected to their learning. It creates a sense of belonging, which is super important in education. Plus, it helps build a richer understanding of content.
What impact do digital tools like digital platforms like YouTube, ChatGPT, or Duolingo have on English learning today? And to what extent students should depend on these chatbots, or we can say the platforms?
Digital tools like YouTube, Chat, and Duolingo have a huge impact on English learning. They provide access to diverse resources, interactive practice, and instant feedback. However, students shouldn't rely solely on them. They should use these tools as supplements to traditional learning. Engaging with teachers and peers is still important for developing communication skills. Balance is key.
Sarah, do you think AI and social media promote English learning or reinforcing linguist inequality?
AI and social media can both promote English learning and reinforce linguistic inequality. On the positive side, they provide access to resources and communities for practice. Learners can connect globally and improve their skills. However, not everyone has equal access to technology. This can widen the gap between those who can use these tools and those who cannot. So while they offer great opportunities, we must address access issues to ensure fairness.
Sarah, do you think people today feel you can say they are forced to abandon their native languages to fit in the English speaking you can say spaces? Do you think so?
Yes, many people feel pressured to abandon their native languages to fit into English speaking spaces. This can lead to a loss of cultural identity and heritage. In some environments, using English is seen as more prestigious, which can discourage people from speaking their native languages. It's important to promote bilingualism and celebrate linguistic diversity. Everyone should feel proud of their language while also learning English.
Okay, that's right. A wonderful thing. How can educators promote English without undermining students' native languages and identities? It's a big task for the teachers. How they should balance between these two things.
It is a big task, but educators can do it. Here are some ways to promote English while respecting native languages. 1. Integrate languages. Use students' native languages in lessons. This can help them relate to the material better. 2. Culturally relevant content. Include examples and resources that reflect students' cultures and languages. 3. Encourage bilingualism. Support students in maintaining their native languages while learning English. 4. Create a safe space. Foster an inclusive environment where all languages are valued. 5. Collaborative learning. Encourage group work where students can use both languages to communicate. Balancing these aspects can create a rich learning experience.
Sarah, that's great. What kind of changes would you recommend in language education policy to better reflect linguistic realities?
Great question. Here are some recommended changes for language education policy. 1. Inclusive curriculum. Develop curricula that incorporate multiple languages and cultural contexts. 2. Teacher training. Provide training for teachers on multilingual education and cultural competence. 3. Resource allocation. Ensure schools have materials that support bilingual and multilingual learning. 4. Assessment flexibility. Create assessments that recognize students' diverse language skills, not just standard English. 5. Community involvement. Engage families and communities in the education process to reflect local linguistic realities. These changes can help create a more equitable and effective language education system.
Sarah, before we wrap up our session, I will ask you two or three more questions. What would be your message for the learners who feel that their English is not good or they cannot speak just like natives? What should they do, and how they can improve their linguistic skills as well?
Great questions. Here's my message for learners feeling unsure about their English. 1. Embrace mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. Don't be afraid to make them. 2. Practice regularly. Use English every day, speak, read, and write. The more you practice, the better you'll get. 3. Engage with others. Join language groups or find conversation partners. Speaking with others boosts confidence. 4. Use resources, explore apps, videos, and books to enhance your skills. 5. Be patient, progress takes time. Celebrate small victories along the way. Improving linguistic skills is a journey, so enjoy the ride.
That's great. Sarah, you are my guest at Education, my podcast talks that teach. And I want, would you like to share some platforms where learners get better information and get to practice themselves over there to improve their English linguistic skills? Would you share some platforms where it may be possible free of cost?
Sure. Here are some free platforms for learners to improve their English skills. 1. Duolingo, fun, game-like lessons for vocabulary and grammar. 2. BBC Learning English, offers videos, articles, and quizzes for all levels. 3. YouTube, channels like English with Lucy and BBC Learning English provide great tutorials. 4. Tandem, connects you with language partners for speaking practice. 5. HelloTalk, a language exchange app where you can chat with native speakers. 6. Quizzled, create flashcards and quizzes to practice vocabulary. These platforms can make learning enjoyable and effective.
That's great. My last question, Sarah, to you. What message would you give to the learners of our global learners?
To all global learners, here's my message. Believe in yourself. Learning a new language is a journey, not a race. Embrace your unique path and don't compare yourself to others. Stay curious and open-minded. Explore different cultures and languages. Every step you take brings you closer to your goals. Remember, your voice matters. Use it confidently and don't be afraid to express yourself. Enjoy the learning process and have fun along the way. You've got this.
Thank you very much, Sarah, staying with us. You can say that we explored a lot of things, and you can say to make us clear certain concept that was quite complex, but you make us quite easy to understand. We will, you can so invite you in some of another session of talks that teach. And up to then, Allah Hafiz and goodbye. My audience, if you feel something good for you, if you have find, if you have, you can say the selected anything that is beneficial for you through our talks, please do comment, do share. If you want to ask some questions, write in the you can the comment section, and we will come back with some another sessions. And up to then, stay motivated.